Hello everybody, today I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes talking about the topic of the gift of singleness. In the church today there seems to be an assumption that if you're a young person who is single, it's only for the time being, and that everyone is pursuing marriage. And that's understandable that people assume that because statistically the vast majority of Christians will end up getting married at some point. But this idea can result in singleness being looked down upon, as if it's inferior to being married. And this subtle attitude can actually be very harmful, and it downplays what is in fact a gift from God and a wonderful opportunity to serve Him. Let's just think about a couple of points surrounding the area of singleness. Idolising marriage. Sam Albury, in his book 7 Myths About Singleness, says we tend to compare the lows of singleness with the highs of marriage. Marriage is a beautiful gift from God. It's designed to reflect the relationship between Christ and the church. However, it's easy for single people to adopt an unrealistic view of what married life is like. Similarly to many other areas in our lives, we can slip into a grass is greener on the other side mindset and imagine the eradication of many of our problems as soon as we settle down with a lifelong partner in marriage. However, we only need to speak to honest married couples to learn that while marriage is wonderful, it also presents many difficult challenges. I'm not qualified to speak on those, but I would encourage you to find some resources by people who are, such as Tim and Kathy Keller. They've written a really well-respected book called The Meaning of Marriage. The point I'm making, though, is that holding an unrealistically high view of what marriage will be like can too easily lead to idolatry. And a way of combating this mindset is to understand that singleness is a gift. It might not come as a surprise to you that singleness is a gift. After all, it offers benefits that marriage doesn't, such as more free time, more flexibility, and arguably more capacity for meaningful friendships. However, I think it's important to emphasize just how highly the Apostle Paul speaks of singleness. In 1 Corinthians 7:7, while writing on the topic of singleness, he says, "Each has its own gift from God, one of one kind and one of another." See, there's no hierarchy here. He doesn't elevate marriage as a greater gift than singleness. In fact, he goes on to say afterwards in verse 8, "To the unmarried and the widows I say that it is good for them to remain single as I am." We need to get rid of this frame of mind that marriage is the goal and singleness is just the journey of seeking a partner. This season of singleness is a wonderful opportunity to use the time, resources, and friendships God has blessed you with to glorify Him. If you're single, think about how you're spending the free time afforded to you and the finances that you don't yet have to factor a spouse or children into. Are you building intimate, God-glorifying friendships? Are you wholeheartedly serving your local church? It goes without saying that there's nothing wrong with wanting to marry, but there is a danger of being so consumed with that desire that you neglect the opportunities that you have while you're single. Don't waste the gift of singleness. Trusting Him. A comforting truth to consider, regardless of your circumstances, is that currently you are where God planned for you to be. Your current well-being, employment status, and relationship status is as God intended, and we are promised in Romans 8 that in all things He works for the good of those who love Him. That is a wonderful foundation of our trust. He doesn't make any mistakes, and His timing is perfect. My prayer then is that we would fix our eyes on Him and enjoy the gifts that He has blessed us with while using them to glorify Him. If you are single, that is one of those gifts. Don't take this season of singleness for granted. Thank you for listening.
Hey, I hope you've been blessed by what you've heard today. And if you have, I'd love to encourage you to partner with us here at OGGM as a monthly giver. At OGGM, we're a charity funded by the donations of people such as yourselves, and that enables us to do the varying work that we do, from retreats to podcasts to mission trips to homeless outreaches and so much more. So if you'd like to give, please click the Project 1000 link in the description below. Thank you.